So on building better relationships today, I have the honor of my childhood friend, Dr. Mrs. Ogogo Peters, all the way from Healing Bread Ministries Outreach.
Yeah.
All the way from Nigeria.
Thank you.
And I saw, yes, thank you for coming. And I also have the pleasure of my big sister, Lady Abiola Cardoso.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having
The
me.
CEO of SB Support Services. And today we're just concerned about the future. How do we preserve the future? That's why we are gathered today, to talk about building better relationships. And for something that is trending now, which is a concern for all of us, is this question that why are less and less women interested in getting married? While we were growing up, it was an in thing. It was like, after you choose your career, the next big thing for you is marriage and family and children. These are things we look forward to. That even if we, even for some people, they don't even have to go to school.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, as I'm leaving high school, if I can just meet one big guy to marry me, I'm feeling fulfilled. But in today that we live in, I don't know if to call it unfortunately or fortunately, most women will tell you, sorry, I'm not interested, like I don't care, and it's a concern.
Yeah,
so let's start with Dr. Peters. What's your take on this?
Okay, thank you so much, my beautiful primary school classmates, sister and
That
friend.
reminds me, let me cut you. When we were little, we used to gossip a lot walking back from school. We carry our school bag as we're walking back home.
Yes. My beautiful childhood primary school friend for this opportunity.
I will still gossip a lot now,
Yeah.
just gisting,
Yeah.
more matured now. So I'm so happy to see her.
Yeah.
And we're here together in this part of the world,
Yeah.
sharing this moment. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. So the reason, in my view, the reason a lot of women are no longer open to marriage is because of the trauma they have seen in their fellow women's faces. So all over the society, you could see, or they are seeing, either elderly women, they are older women, or women who are like younger to them, or even their age mates who got married, and 2 years, 3 years into the marriage, the young beautiful damsel who got married is now looking 10 years older than her age. She looks, malnourished, she looks famished, she looks traumatized. And they hear stories of divorces left, right and center. They hear stories of how their husbands throw them out in the dead of the night. They hear stories of how, of course this is even more recent, how their husbands killed the wives. And so these stories are actually traumatizing to the average ear. So when these young ones, our young ladies, hear about these devastating stories of how people got married and they got killed because of what do you call it now, because of domestic violence or abuse, how they get married and they can't take care of themselves. Some of them who are even married are calling their single friends and asking them for money to feed their children, money to pay school fees. And so when they hear these stories, the young ones are no longer, some of them don't want to take on that marriage route because they feel there's so much trauma on that route. So I think that's one of the reasons. They are seeing they are hearing stories and they are seeing lives. Some of them have relatives who have gone through so much pain in marriage. And so when they hear and see all these stories, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of young ladies are no longer very interested in marriage.
Wow, thank you so much for throwing that light in. Lady B, do you want to say something about this?
Thank you so much. My own take is that most, especially women, they're wary of getting married quickly because of, just like my friend, my sister here said, because of what they see. Some of them even have a taste of it. Maybe they've had relationships and they feel, how can they person? How can someone be behaving like this? Maybe they've noticed lies, they've noticed some awkward behaviors, they've noticed, you know, unspeakable things,
Yeah.
and they're beginning to say, am I going to continue like this? Am I going to live my whole life with somebody who's going to be behaving like this? Sometimes when they have a relationship, the relationship is not mutual, it's just kind of a leeching, parasitic kind of relationship whereby the man extracts from them,
Yes.
and they, in their minds, I guess, they'll be thinking, no, I don't want to continue like this, and I'll just enjoy my money, enjoy my wealth by myself. That's part of why I think some of them would not want to actually get married and committed, because they know that once you are married, you are committed. And for those who share the same faith as us, as me, Christians, you're not allowed to go into marriage and get a divorce.
Yeah.
So they believe, it's better not to let it even happen at all. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for throwing that light in. So, like, really, the way ladies, especially if, like at workplace, when you see ladies that are doing well in their career, and I'm like, okay, what's the next step? Are you not going to get married? Look, no, I don't want to. Why not? And they're not very, even when, there are things that will really make us, even when we knew that our fathers were not perfect, or maybe some things were not perfect, but we still had our own goals. We had our own goals, like, oh, I want to, for me, like, I thought to myself that if I got to a particular age, I said if I got to 30 and I was not meeting a man that I really liked or that loved me enough to share my life with, I would adopt a child. So my focus was having a child, so it was like, okay, having kids. So when I brought that up, like, what about having kids? You don't want to have a kid? I'm like, why would I want to have a kid for a man I don't love or that doesn't appreciate me or value me? So they also feel that less and less men are even interested, because they don't even want to be the one to, they're not going to ask that man out, or they're not going to be the one to make the move, and they're not ready for a man who is giving them bare minimum interest.
Yes.
You understand? Like, I like you, but you're not serious. When a guy is serious, how when we're growing up, then we still, even if you like the guy, you will not just accept him that, okay. But nowadays, it seems like less men, they feel that there's so many beautiful women. So it's like less men are putting in enough effort. Once a girl tells you, it's okay, go to hell. I have another girl I'll talk to.
Yeah.
And no guy said, I don't want to have a child for a man who does not see me as a gift.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to chip in something at that. Now, for those who are wayward amongst the girls, they've had experiences with men who are married. They know for sure that married men go hunting for young girls, and they're probably thinking that no, we don't want to get married and have other girls, come after our husband, because they've done it and they experience it. They know that it's the in thing for most men. No matter what title they bear, you understand what I mean? They still go chase younger girls, and they believe, this is their thing, and we don't want to get married and face the same situation. So part of what might debar them from having that zeal to get married,
I see. So initially I was thinking that maybe because in this age we have more and more women who are empowered, who are trained to school, to like
take care of themselves.
Even in our time, it was like, it was just because before our time, that's our parents' time, they had they were just, some of them went to basic schools, like teacher training was like one of the highest things they did. Yes. So education was just beginning to creep into our culture, that is in Africa. But now, during our time, we now started having university graduates and master's holders and more empowered women working in big corporations, and they are able to provide for themselves. Do you think this also What can you say about this provision thing?
Okay, so you're very right, my dear sister. So in those days, to marry so that you can alleviate your family from poverty, as we do. So women who really want to help their families, out of economic doom, what they just need to do is to go to school, get a good job, and they'll take care of their family. So there's no pressure to marry again so that they can have wealth. So I think that is also a contributing factor to less women getting interested in marrying men just for marrying sake or just to get money. Now they can make the money, and so when they want to marry, it's not as a form of necessity, but it's as a form of a choice.
But how come the men of those days were able to accept that a woman is valuable enough to maybe even go as far as to building a house for the woman's family to have them? Because the man of today, even though some men have had their own bad experiences, women too have had their bad experiences with supporting a man financially and being disappointed. But I know that nowadays a lot of men hold on to it. Oh, they broke my heart, they broke my money. You know. But sometimes I feel that money is not enough value compared to what a woman gives in a relationship. What a woman gives, even if it's for the body count, is too much to be compared to money. It's just like when you put gas in your car and you use it up. You're not going to cry that, oh, I used up my gas in my car today. So why is that today's man is so afraid to let that thing, money, leave their hand just because of the sake of having a woman? Is it that they're no longer seeing woman as something that is valuable enough to even give that investment?
I think in those days they believe once they are married they are trapped. And from the African setting, we believe that a woman is supposed to take charge, is supposed to be in the kitchen and all the rest of that. Western world is a bit different, and they believe that once they are married, there's nothing like hanging out with friends, going to parties by themselves. They have to just be, once they are missing something,
or even making major decisions.
They can't. Their own family. They have to depend upon their husbands. So when they think about it, it's kind of, to them, I think, my own opinion, it could be discouraging to them.
It's
and
too
much. Like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. They keep postponing it until there's no more time. And I think at certain ages, they believe, oh, you know what? Let me now think of settling down, even if it's just one child. That kind of thing.
Wow. So, very good point. So the thing is, at what age do you think it's too late for a woman to really get married? At what age?
Okay, I don't think any age is too late. We've had people in their 60s get married. I don't think there's any age that is too late for a man to get married. Just as there's no age that is too late for a man to get married. So you have men who live up to 90 something. Some you can still have men marrying at that age if they have companionship. If you have men live up to 80 something, you can still have women of that age if they are ready to marry and they have companionship. So there's no age that is too late for a man for a woman to get married. My only take on that would be if she intends to have children. She intends to have children. She can always have children, and there are different ways we have nowadays. We have people taking up young ones and making them their own. You can also
Adoption.
have you can also have mothers or women who go to store their eggs so that whenever they want children, they can have children. So there's no age limit to. Just as there's no age limit to friendship.
That would have been a limitation, but it's not.
It's no longer a limitation.
Except the woman is not informed. Then she stays and keeps waiting and looking for the best man. And I must tell you, it's really hard. So from the research that we did, why less and less women are interested in getting married, one of them is more women are being educated, career focused. They spend more time in school, so they will want to finish their career before they even consider marriage now. Financial independence. Now, women don't, in the past, marriage was partly an economic security. That's changed right now. So changing expectations of relationship, modern women now, they want more emotional matured men. They don't they want personal growth within the relationship. So another point is that less social pressure to marry. Now nobody's saying go and get married or you are old. No, that's no longer in vogue. Focus on personal fulfillment.
Yeah.
Now women want to be the CEO of companies and all that. So those are some of the reasons why women don't even want to settle. So they put in their effort to build themselves and be that provider, which a man is supposed to be. They're supposed to make us be excited to be there.
Yeah.
So how can we preserve the future to wrap up this segment on building better relationship? Lady B.
Yeah, I think I'm going to focus.
Place where I let go of the pain and truly forgive my father, because of course I really at that age I couldn't really understand what he was going through. He may have had his own limitations financially, and maybe that's why he couldn't or I felt him. So I had to get to that point where I forgive. So I now started having a better relationship with my dad, loving him, letting go of that pain. So a lot of ladies need to get to a place where they let go of the trauma of the past, because that is when they can be free enough, get healing and free enough to continue their life. And so from Tama's story we can see she didn't get healing, and so the Bible says she remained desolate all the rest of her life. So as a woman, you don't need to be desolate. The fact that Mr. A jilted you doesn't mean that Mr. B will jilt you. Every man is not the same.
That's awesome. Some men are extraordinary.
So
behavior.
okay, so that's fair.
Yes, truly, for people to heal, they need to learn how to forgive. They don't have to be vengeful, because you really don't know what that person is going through. That's why I sometimes say, leave it for God. Just let God be the captain of your ship. Don't try to always do it by your own strength, because your strength will not take you so far. So that's one of the way to heal. Just like God, I leave it for you. I can fight, but I don't want to fight, so that you can heal. And so women should not lose interest in getting married, because it's a good thing, but they should always have in their heart that they should make room for forgiving the men, and men should not forget that there's only one role they have in this world that God has given them, one major role, which is to provide. They should not shy away from it. They should not feel used and doing that role, because really, would you rather use a woman to have kids and do all the things that you want, and not give her the chance to also use you? So his life is give and take. Yes. So it's not being used. It's just like when you put fuel in your car, your fuel runs out. That fuel has taken you to a destination. You cannot see it as a loss or as being used. You are not being used. It's your role, and you should be proud to do that. So please also share with us what your ideas of building better relationships are. Put in the comment section. Share this video.
Men can talk too. They want to, because they
men, please tell us what you think about
the negatives
building
of women.
better relationships, and why less and less men are showing interest or wanting to get married, so that we all can keep learning, because it's a learning. We are trying to learn and build a better future for not just us, especially for our children and our children's children, so that more and more people are informed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please like, share, and leave your comments. I look forward to it. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.